The Time Machine. The movie begins in the year 1899, where we meet a professor, Dr. Alex from New York, who teaches mechanics and engineering in an university. Apart from teaching, he was a brilliant inventor too. Actually, he wanted to prove the theory of time travel concept. However, Alex's friend advised him that he can get a really good job in any of the reputed organizations, but Alex did not want to work under someone, rather he wanted to work on his inventions. Dr. Alex had a fiancée to whom he loved immensely. In fact, he was going to meet his fiancée when on the way he sees a damaged car. The car caught his notice because at that time, automobiles was rare. The driver repaired the car but forgot to lock the brakes as usual, and suddenly car makes a move and was about to crash someone, but Alex immediately catches the brake of the car and locks it. After the incident, Alex goes to meet his fiancée and both spent a quality time together. As they were taking a walk, a thief comes with an invention to rob them. In the struggle, the thief kills Alex's fiancée. Alex could not bear this shock and decides there and then to completely change life of his fiancée with the help of a time machine by traveling in it, which will stop the death of his fiancée. For this, he works hard for 4 years, and in the year 1903, he successfully completes working on a time machine. But he doesn't tell about his invention to his best friend also, who keeps on worrying about Alex as a show of care and concern. Then, without wasting much time, Alex activates the time machine. The time machine takes him into the past in the year 1899, where he meets his fiancée alive. But before the accident gets repeated, Alex takes his fiancée and leaves that place immediately. Even being an inventor, Alex forgot the basic principle of time and space, that whatever happens once can never change. If anything occurs once, will never get reversed. In short, time cannot be changed. When Alex was about to propose to his fiancée, he goes to bring flowers. Meanwhile, the car whose driver always used to forget to lock the brakes comes at the place where Alex's fiancée stood, and the car as usual moves without brakes and kills his fiancée. Again, Alex goes into a deep depression, but still he doesn't lose his hope and decides to go in future with an intention to know that maybe people in the future knows how to change the time in the past. So he travels in the time machine and reaches in the year 2030. Here the people were preparing to reach the moon. Dr. Alex goes to a library to learn more about time travel. There he meets a holographic artificial intelligence librarian. He asks him how to change the time in the past. The librarian tells him that till now, such time machine has not yet been invented. On hearing this, he gets more disappointed, but doesn't lose his hope. He decides to travel much further through the time machine and then reaches in the year 2037. As he reaches there, he finds the earth totally destroyed. Then he gets to know from 2 soldiers that due to mining, lunar is being disturbed and moon is about to break and its debris is falling on the earth. The time is not far when the whole moon will break completely and will collide with the earth. The soldiers takes Alex along with them to rescue him, but he escapes and runs towards his time machine. He was about to get hit by the debris and particles falling from the moon. So to escape, he triggers an unknown setting of the time machine. He gets a jerk and gets fainted. As a result, the machine goes further. Meanwhile, Earth is also seen coming back into its natural and normal state. Then Alex also starts coming in unconscious state and switches off the machine much before it moves forward. He had reached 8 years further, and since he was injured too, he gets fainted. When he awakens, he finds himself amongst ancient community. People from that community were unable to understand Alex's language and thinks that he was a danger for them and were about to kill him. But then, a girl named Mara from that community who saved Alex knew his language, as she was also a teacher, saves Alex from the people of her community. Alex tells Mara that he has come from the past, but Mara doesn't tell this to her community people as they will not understand him and can kill thinking him as an alien. Now Alex gets more information from Mara about her community who, due to the changes on Earth, started living on the rocks. Their lifestyle was way too different from the ones in the 21st century. At night, Alex remains astonished with Moon's condition. Here Alex becomes friend with Mara's brother who likes Alex's watch, so he gives him the watch. Then at night, when they were sleeping, Alex had a nightmare that a weird creature was calling him from the forest. When he was about to enter through a massive creature-like door, he gets awake. The strangest part of the dream was that it came to Mara's brother too. Then Mara tells and explains Alex that this nightmare comes to each and everyone every night in this community. They all sleep after hearing this. The next morning, Mara shows debris of some buildings to Alex. The debris was of New York's buildings of past time, the time when Alex was present there. Then Mara asks him why he came in this phase of time. Alex tells and explains Mara that he had lost someone close to his heart, and in search of her, he made a time machine and was traveling into it. Then Mara takes him to his time machine. Also, Alex notices that there were no old-aged person in that community, and Mara also accepts it. He finally reaches to the place where his time machine was placed. As he tries to enter into the machine, Mara requests him to take her brother along. Then a drum sound starts coming, which was a sound when a danger used to approach. Mara runs to save her brother, and Alex runs after her to save her brother too. The danger was a huge and dreadful creature which was half human and stayed underground. Since their eyes were sensitive, they used to come out in night only. They used to feed on the people of the community for their survival, which was the most dangerous thing. One of the creatures starts chasing Alex. People from the community somehow saves him, but the creature takes Mara along with under the ground. Alex wanted to save Mara, but none was ready to help him as these creatures were supreme and powerful than anyone, and no one in the community would be able to stand them. Then Alex promises to Mara's brother that he will save and bring his sister back, but for that he needs to understand these creatures and their discovery. His brother tells him about a spirit who can help him in understanding these creatures. Then he took Alex to a far-off place and reached to the same library where he meets that same holographic librarian in the year 2030. And this librarian survived for so many years. On seeing him, Mara's brother considered him to be a ghost. Alex asks the librarian how is it possible to have two evolutions in an individual's life. Librarian tells him that when Earth was about to get destroyed, some people decided to stay underground out of fear. They have been living underground for million years, and because of the evolution in these million years, changes occurred in them, and due to stay underground for long, they were not able to bear the sunlight too. Even they didn't had anything to eat, so they started eating the people of the community for their survival. After knowing about those creatures, Alex reaches to the massive door in his nightmare and enters into the dangerous cave alone. After going inside, he notices several tunnels and understood how these creatures goes underground and disappears. Using these tunnels only, these creatures appears from anywhere in the ground. He reaches to that particular place where these creatures brings the people of the community, kills them and eats them. Suddenly, Alex falls in a pond which was full of bones. Unluckily, Alex was caught by a creature, but he runs away. Then he moves forward and finds Mara, who was alive but imprisoned. On seeing Mara, Alex realizes that she was hypnotized. Then he meets the leader of those creatures. After moving forward, the leader appeared to be weird and dangerous, but was intelligent amongst the whole species. He was the one actually who used to come in everyone's nightmare. The leader told Alex that their species have many parts and each one has their own role. Intelligent creatures have the ability to control and the minds of others. Therefore, Alex realized that Mara was hypnotized. Another group of creatures are less intelligent, whom Alex has already met as they were the hunters. On hearing this, Alex gets full of anger and shouts on leader that how they could feed on their own species. The leader also gets enraged and holds Alex's neck and then explains him that we are not evil, but this was the only way we could survive. The leader also reads Alex's mind, then tries to explain Alex that he cannot change the past, neither gets his fiancée back. He invested his whole life inventing the time machine to get his fiancée back when she died, else he would not have traveled so much. Then Alex also understood that why he was not able to change the past. Alex also sees his time machine at the leader's place. The leader tells Alex to immediately return to his time through the time machine. Alex starts activating his machine, but his mind has some other plans. As the machine gets activated, Alex pulls the leader of those creatures in the time machine. They both start traveling in the future and fight simultaneously. Finally, the leader hangs on the machine where the time was running super fast and he was becoming older on a faster pace. It becomes a skeleton and finishes off. Alex stops the machine but finds himself more years further. There he sees the Earth has got destroyed like planet Mars, where he could only see those creatures. He then understands that maybe creatures from the community had killed everyone from the community and eaten them up. Therefore, the Earth has got destroyed completely. Alex gets worried, but then he decides that if he cannot change the past, at least he can change the future. So he again travels in the machine and creatures have got completely finished. He then rescues Mara from that place, then activates the machine and jams its wheels through his watch, due to which the machine starts emitting strong waves. But before they both get trapped by either the creatures or the waves, they ran and got escaped. The creatures could not understand the emission of the waves and got trapped and completely destroyed by those dangerous waves inside the Earth. Alex and Mara were also rescued by their community as they both safely reached to the surface. This meant that Alex was successful in changing the future. The creatures were over, so the people of the community could also live long for years. For this reason, the Earth also got saved. But in this whole scenario, Alex had to sacrifice his time machine. Alex and Mara also started liking each other and Alex decided to stay there with her only. Then his friend was also shown in 1903, who was worried for him. Since he had no whereabouts of Alex, he says goodbye to Alex's memories and hoped that Alex might have got what he was searching for. So if you find the video is good, then please share and like this video and also subscribe this channel. Please take care. See you soon.